All right, everybody, we've got 31st place Richard Plummer here playing Earth Ojiro2. This was a deck we saw quite a lot of day one. Not a deck that did super great day two, although Keenan Meadows notably did pretty well with it. And this is an interesting one, so let's jump into it. So 31st place, we know we're going second a lot. We know that we're going second. Probably, well, I guess I don't know what they're seeding. This was like the final, but we're assuming from the Ready, Get, Set, Go mainboarded and no seizings that we're going second quite a bit throughout the day. I do want to point out there's no seizing and no petty squabbles, so I'm very curious what Richard Plummer had access to, because that is not something we should have to worry about at our World Championship level. So, oh, there we go. Okay, he's in the chat saying he was 19th seat. Yeah, so it is very interesting to me, like when I see certain staple cards, because there's always the opportunity to play different tech pieces. You know, there's always the opportunity to throw your opponent off, but, you know, I tend to not lose to Ojiros who aren't drawing stun attacks if they don't flip all my interaction. I mean, just last night I was playing at locals against Brett Hillman, and he played like 9 seizings against me in like 2 games. So it was pretty insane. So it's something we saw some Ojiros run only like one of seizing before, so that could just be a personal choice. And yeah, it looks like he's in chat saying that it's just a personal choice to never run it. So there's a lot of different variations for this character. You can run pretty much whatever you want in Ojiro as long as you have all your zones covered and you have 4 Student of the Art, it seems, because this deck has been producing over and over and over again. And the 2 most common attacks I see in it are Back Alley Haymaker, which, I mean, what hasn't been said about this card? I mean, really, what hasn't been said about all the things it does? And then Rapid Punches, which is a 4 difficulty, 5 low 4, very tough to deal with, very annoying to deal with, and it draws you a card. And then, of course, it comes with Hardened Barrage. We've got 2 copies of Hardened Barrage, which is not quite as open-ended as just response to draw a card, you know? So, not running the 4 of that, but both of these attacks synergize super well with Student of the Art, right? So, pretty cool to see that. Like, these are worded correctly, you know, to count other copies of a card, so the fact that they get sealed isn't a big deal, which I thought was really nice. Until I played against Ojiro2 and he started clapping my cheeks every time he went first. But that is, you know, that's just kind of how Hardened Barrage ends up being. It's usually like 2-0s, whereas Punches is just always the go-to. Better zone, better effect on average most of the time, you know. But I do think running Hardened Barrage is correct, because I like to unflip Student of the Art, or there's a lot of stuff that gets flipped in this meta. 2 of Karate Chop. This is like a little surprising, but mid is like your worst zone. So I'm not super surprised to see like the only 6 mid attacks, right? Like we have 18, so it's 6 of like each zone. But I don't know. I think Cry Chop is super good. It's not better than Back Alley Haymaker, so you're obviously, when you're trying to get your zone mix, I don't think you'd run 3 and 3. I think the 4 and 2 for these is actually really nice. And then Texas Smash is just an absolute ass beating of a card. We're already down to discard cards for One with Nature, and we've got quite a bit of draw power through our attack lineups. And of course, we've got Chivalrous down here, so once your opponent is stunned out and they can't play any more cards, it's going to be really easy to just sort of dump your hand to kill your opponent, and that's what Ojiro is really good at. And then of course we have Hardened Chop here, which is just an absolute fucker's card. This card is such a nuisance. I mean, really, who thought that these effects should be paired together and on a low zone? It's actually wild. I hate this. I hate this attack so much. And it brings breaker. It also actually brings like some breaker potential. So a little bit of breaker 1. We see this card not get played a ton because it doesn't pump itself, right? Like it doesn't get like a ton of damage from itself. So not too many decks can just like string a bunch of these around, but this is an insanely great lead-off attack. It's a very good second attack. It's a very good low attack. Just not surprised to see it whenever it shows up, even though it might not be like the workhorse that a rapid punches or a back alley haymaker might be. And then on the foundations, we're not surprised to see one with nature here. Again, as a 6-hander, just like the Dobby deck, not the most card draw going on. Certainly more than the Chaos Symbol with cards like back alley and rapid punches, but this is, you only need one of these. You only need one with nature to put people in the dirt. For a student of the art, this is just the Ojiro card. If I have to explain to you at this point in the game why this is so important, we need to have a lengthy talk. We need to sit down and we gotta have a talk because this is insane. To learning the standards, this one's kind of interesting. This one's kind of cool. Ojiro has face tank energy, I guess you could say. No defensive ability on face, no speed hate like on the symbol, right? Do we have any actual, I mean, this reduces a stun attack speed. Yeah, there's no speed, so to slow our opponents down, learning the standards makes sense here. It hurts decks like Froppy a little bit. It hurts combo decks. So this is kind of nice. You pretty much have to be a 6-hander to run this. Someone with style. This is 2 foundations in 1, and it counts as our stun hate / speed hate. So makes sense that this is here for lots of extensions. But we only have 10 2 difficulty foundations, and the rest are basically spams. The rest are 22 1s and 0s. So just like the Chaos Symbol, just like Tokoyami decks, we really, just like the Dobby 6-hand size aggro, it's all about this turn 1 build. My initial impression of this deck is a counter puncher deck. This is a deck set up to go second, to be able to survive 1 turn without having to block, without having to use defensive, cards from our hand, use them from our stage. Cards like Mail Bonding and Learning the Standards can really punish your opponent for trying to get something for free over you on turn 2. And yeah, Quick to Act also just leans into that, right? Quick to Act leans into the, if you don't kill me, I'm going to get stronger. If you don't, if you don't annihilate me, you're gonna put yourself in some trouble. So I dig the idea. I always look for more control elements. That's just me as a player, but I'm not good at Ojiro2. So these Ojiro2 players probably teach me a thing or two about playing it before I go too in depth on it. Other than that, man, just solid lineup. So anyways, congratulations to Richard Plummer. It was really cool to see all the new faces, the new decks at the HLC and meet a lot of these people. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you guys think that this is the right Ojiro build for you? What would you change? Was anything surprising about it? For me, I do think not even like the single copy of Seizing or like an Apathetic is very interesting to me, but because of the style of the deck, right? Because we're in on this Mail Bonding and this Quick to Act sort of effects, I think that we don't have time for that kind of stuff. We're looking to hit the stun buttons and drain your life, and Ojiro's perfect for that.